Here is the latest from K2 Radio News.
In light of plans by the U.S. Postal Service to downgrade postal processing and distribution centers in Casper and Cheyenne, Wyoming's congressional delegation is getting behind legislation to counter such moves. That's according to a new release from Representative Harriet Hageman's office. She and Senator Cynthia Lummis are introducing the Postal Operations State Timely and Local Postal Act. Senator John Barrasso is a co-sponsor. If it becomes law, the bill would prevent the Postal Service from closing, consolidating, or downgrading processing and distribution centers if the center is the only one in the state or if the move would hurt mail delivery. The U.S. Postal Service would like to move the Casper operations to Billings, Montana, and the Cheyenne Distribution Center to Denver. Yesterday, a Wyoming man was convicted for his role in arranging for commercial sex in Billings, Montana, then lying to federal investigators about it. He was sentenced to 1 year of probation and fined $7,500. Mark J. Albrecht, 66 years old, is from Gillette, Wyoming. He was found guilty by U.S. District Judge Susan P. Waters on February 20th of use of facility in interstate commerce in aid of racketeering and making false statements following a one-day bench trial. The government alleged that on April 21st of 2021, law enforcement responded to a report of possible commercial sex activity at a Billings motel. Police officers knocked on the door of the suspect's room and announced themselves. A woman identified as Ashley Stella of Reno, Nevada, another unnamed female who was a minor at the time, and Albrecht emerged. He was seen buttoning up his shirt as he exited the room. He initially denied to police and FBI officers that he was in the room for a sexual encounter. He offered various stories as to why he was at the hotel. He did ultimately acknowledge that that is, in fact, what he was doing and that he used social media and his cell phone to arrange it. Stella was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for conviction of transportation of a minor to engage in prostitution. A longtime Casper doctor is retiring after 42 years in practice. Dr. Tom Burke has seen a lot of changes in medicine in his 4 decades of experience, from administration and paperwork to huge changes in imaging and medications. Born and raised in Casper, Dr. Burke became interested in medicine when he was about 14 after his brother was killed in a car accident. In high school, he went to boarding school in Wisconsin and learned about a medical school program at the University of Missouri. That is where he met his wife, Dr. Mary Francis. They were among the first graduating classes at the then brand new school. Dr. Burke said that his favorite part about practicing medicine has been the patients. When asked what his piece of advice would be to offer patients and non-patients alike, he didn't hesitate. Exercise for the body, develop relationships for the soul, and create healthy lifelong habits. A new study paid for by an institution called ProCare is ranking Wyoming 48th for states with the healthiest school lunches. The report's findings were based on a few different factors: whether or not there's a farm-to-school program, fruit and vegetable consumption, the amount of sugary drinks available, and number of lunches served per 10,000 children. It found that Hawaii had the largest farm-to-school participation, followed by Georgia, Florida, Maryland, and Rhode Island. Iowa boasts the highest percentage of lunches served, followed by Nebraska, North Dakota, and Mississippi. Louisiana school lunches were ranked the worst. Idaho came in 49th and Wyoming 48th. The study claims there was a smaller percentage of school lunches served, and the fruit and vegetable consumption was relatively lower than in other states. While Wyoming's gardening seasons are not the same as Hawaii, according to the USDA, farm-to-school programs are picking up momentum in the cowboy state in the last 10 years. In fact, more than half started less than 3 years ago. Local food and agricultural education activities are showing up in the cafeteria, the classroom, and the garden. Farm-to-school activities include experiential learning in the classroom, in the garden, and on the farm. Wyoming districts have even begun embracing a farm-to-fork approach using local beef to feed students. Each district also chooses whether or not to participate in the other USDA child nutrition programs like the school breakfast program, after-school snack program. The government also has standards that must be met by the Wyoming Department of Education when it comes to school lunches. This is Colby